Hey, my name's Jason Creel. This is the Lawn Care Life. I've been out spraying yards today, and I thought it might be helpful for those of you that want to know to show you exactly what I'm spraying on the lawn. I'm going to show you the products I'm using, I'm mixing in the tank, and I'm going to tell you the rates that I'm mixing it at so that you'll know what I'm using to get results on the lawn. Then I'm going to tell you what to do for other grass types because this won't, it's not for every single grass type known to man. Today's video is sponsored by Graham Spray Equipment. The spray rig on the back of my truck back there is made by Graham Spray Equipment in Douglasville, Georgia. You can check them out at grahamsc.com. There is a link in the description. So what am I spraying? Well, first, there's my rig here, okay, 400-gallon split tank. And at this time of year, and it depends on what you're dealing with. I deal with warm season grasses, okay, Bermuda, zoysia, centipede, St. Augustine. If you deal with cool season grasses, I would encourage you to watch the video just so you can have some sense of idea what we deal with the warm season grasses, because it's probably quite different than what you do with the cool season grasses. For instance, I'm out spraying today in January, and you're like, well, you're buried in snow. You're obviously not spraying. So here's the products, and then we'll talk to you about the rates and then the timing and things like that, so that you can be squared away. Whether you're a homeowner, you want to know what we're doing, the professional weed control companies are doing, or you might be starting a weed control business, things like that. All right, we'll start over here. You see this product here is Resolute 65WG. So the active ingredient, as you can see right there, is prodiamine. So the prodiamine is my pre-emergent, okay, and that's what I'm putting out. It's not a terribly expensive product. You can use more expensive products, but I'm not sure why you would, because in this particular application, I'm putting out prodiamine, and I'm really trying to keep the crabgrass out of the lawn this summer, as well as other weeds. And prodiamine is extremely effective against crabgrass. That's why I'm using this product. This particular formulation, you can get it in liquid. This comes and you measure it by the weight, and I've got this handy little measuring cup, which comes if you bought like Barricade. I'm assuming you'd get this measuring cup. So for this, I'm applying it at 0.85 pounds per acre to the lawn. So you can see here, I've got these measuring lines there. I can go to 0.85 pounds. Now, you got to understand how to figure out, and I can go over this in this video as well if you want me to. I've done it before, but to show you how many acres you're going to cover with the amount of water in your tank, because you can't say, well, my yard's 5,000 square feet, and do the math that way. That's not exactly how I do it. So I'll go over the math with you in this video as well. All right, so that we're going the prodiamine. We're trying to keep the crabgrass out, things like that. When I spray that on an existing weed, it's not going to kill it. Okay, it's this you have to get down before the crabgrass germinates, which typically I think is when the soil temperatures reach 50 to 55 degrees, something like that, and maybe stay there for a few days. So in our area in Alabama, that typically happens sometimes in late February, early March. So I try to get this sprayed on all my lawns before the end of February. Actually, I'll probably hopefully get done by mid-February. So that's why I get out early January and start spraying, because if I spray this in March and the crabgrass is already germinated, it's not going to be very effective. At that point, you need to go to a crabgrass post-emergent product. All right, next is atrazine. Now you see here, right there, restricted use pesticide. So this one, I'm pretty sure you're gonna have to have your license to be able to use it. So, but anyway, I'm putting it at 20 ounces per acre on the Bermuda and zoysia lawn. So I'm talking right now with Bermuda and zoysia. I'm gonna go back and tell you what I'm doing differently on the centipede and St. Augustine lawns. So 20 ounces per acre. For this, going to help with some of those broadleaf weeds, the henbit, clover, things like that. Triplet is a 3-way herbicide. You see it's got 2,4-D and some other stuff that it can't pronounce in there. I'm going 2.5 pints per acre on that. So you got 0.85 pounds per acre on this, 20 ounces per acre, 2.5 pints per acre, and then the surfactant putting 2 pints for every 100 gallons in the spray tank. Are these the only products you can use? Of course not. You could use, this is triplet. I could use 2,4-D, or I could put metsulfuron in there as a post-emergent. But the triplet is going to help with like dandelions and things like that. Look at there. right on the label there, to control clover, dandelion, henbit, plantains, wild onion. I don't know so much about the wild onion. When I see wild onions, I spray it with blindside or metsulfuron or something, but I guess it has a little bit of activity on that. This combination, believe it or not, is not that expensive to apply to lawns, and it works great for getting rid of the weeds. Now this comes from Harold's there, the supplier I use. So how do you figure out how much to put in the tank? Well, before I do that, let me go over what I do different on Centipede and St. Augustine. So, and I will say this, if you go to Lawn Care Life, you say, Jason, where, you know, I'm writing this down. I have packages available on lawncarelife.com. It's got programs for different grass types. It's got pricing charts. I got the weed control cheat sheet, which shows you which products I use on certain weeds and the rates, and which grass types you can use it on, and all. You know, there's a lot of resources that has all this on there. The Weed Control and Fertilization Academy is if you're looking to start a weed control and fertilization business, and it comes with all the other documents and things too, but you can just buy the documents separately and you know, get your program and a bunch of documents and things I use for my own business. All right, Centipede St. Augustine lawns, what am I doing different? Well, Centipede and St. Augustine lawns are not going to have as big of a crabgrass problem as a Bermuda lawn. A Bermuda lawn left untreated is going to really have some issues, you know, with crabgrass. So on the prodiamine, I use 0.55 pounds per acre on round one, the first of the year, and that's on my Centipede and St. Augustine. And I'm still going with the 20 ounces per acre of atrazine, no triplet in there. If you got one that's got a lot of weeds, you could use a different post-emergent, like a Trimix Southern or something like that. I usually don't. I usually just go with atrazine and a lower rate of the prodiamine, and then I'm still going with the 2 pints per 100 gallons on the surfactant. And you see, you got big weeds like dandelions and things like that, so you know it's going to keep out a lot of the summer weeds and crabgrass. But like I said, mixing in those post-emergent products, you're also killing a lot of the weeds. So let me show you like what typical weeds you're seeing this time of year. You got, you know, henbit, you got purple dead nettle and things like that. You got the Carolina geraniums and things like that. It's going to kill all that. Now, what I've learned from spraying yards is there's certain weeds that this combination is not going to kill. So when I get a weed like this is called field matter, it's not going to kill that. So I have to come in with like a different product and spot treat that. So I'll use something like Change Up for that. Like I said, you get a bunch of wild onions, wild garlic, I come in with blindside, or if you put the metsulfuron in your mix, it'll help knock that out. So, you know, it's not going to kill every weed. Poa annua is a weed, you know, I know when I see that in the yard, I'm trying to prevent most of these weeds in with my fall application. But if you got Poa, like right here, you see that? Poa annua, it's not going to kill that, this combination. So I got to come in and spot treat that with something like Revolver or Negate or Katana, or, you know, there's several products, Celsius, Tribute Total, they all will have some effectiveness on Poa. So anyway, you got to know which weeds it's going to kill, which weeds it's not going to kill. You blanket this yard, keep the crabgrass out, knock out a lot of your cool season weeds, but it's not going to get all of them. All right, let me show you the math here. I don't know if you can see that. Mine's got a sight tube on it right here. If you can see that, you can see that juice bouncing up and down. Okay, so I got about 160 gallons in the tank right now. Now my tank goes up to 300, or really 310. So I'm going to be putting 140 gallons. Now this 160 that's in here is already mixed, okay? Already mixed. I'm not concerned with that. It's mixed up. What I'm concerned with is the 140 that's going to be unmixed. And I gave you the rates on those, but how do you know how much to put in the tank, okay? If you'll do a search for Lawn Care Life calibration, don't do it now, but after you watch this, just search Lawn Care Life calibration on YouTube. There'll be a calibration video. But you got to figure out how much water you are spraying, you know, how much volume you're spraying per the amount of area there, per 1,000 square feet. So if you, you know, in the video, we have like a 10,000 square foot or 5,000 square foot, I can't remember, area in a parking lot, and we spray, and so let's say it's 10,000 square feet, and you spray and you use 20 gallons of water. then how much is that? You're using 2 gallons for every 1,000 square feet. Is that simple math? Okay. If it's 10,000 square feet and you use 15 gallons, then you're using 1.5 gallons per 1,000 square feet. Okay. Well, in mine, you know, I can adjust. I've got a regulator on here. I can make things happen, but I'm spraying at 2 gallons per 1,000 square feet, and that's, to me, I want to get it to where I've got the right pressure coming out of here. I don't want it too much pressure, and if it's not enough pressure, you got to whip your wrist back and forth to get it to, you know, cover the yard. If it's too much pressure, it can mist on you, and I don't want that. So anyway, 2 gallons with this green nozzle on this Let's Go gun has been awesome for me. All right, so if I know I'm spraying 2 gallons per 1,000 square feet, well, how many acres can I cover with this 140 gallons? Okay, because like I said, I'm gonna put 140 gallons of water in here. So how many acres will 140 gallons cover? Well, let me show you the math. All right, this is not hard, but you just got to remember the situation here. So all right, let's do gallons of water, 140 gallons of water. Like I said, I'm not concerned with the 160, it's already mixed. 140, and then I'm going to divide that by 2. Why am I dividing that by 2? Because I'm spraying at 2 gallons per 1,000 square feet. Okay, so this is your gallons per 1,000 square feet that you, based on how you've calibrated it. And like I said, you might have to go watch that video if you need to. Now, if I was spraying at 1.5 gallons per 1,000 square feet, I'd be dividing by 1.5 right now. I'm dividing by 2 because I spray at 2 gallons per 1,000 square feet. That's based on my walking speed and how I've got everything set up. All right, and that gives me 70. That means I can spray 70,000 square feet with the 140 gallons, okay? Because like I said, that's not too hard either, basically dividing by 2. 140 gallons, I spray 2 gallons per 1,000, so I can spray 70,000 square feet. Well, how many acres is that? Well, you got to divide that by 43.56 because there's 43,560 square feet in an acre. So I'm going to divide that, and that gives me how many acres I got. How many acres I can cover with 140 gallons. So I can cover 1.6 acres. Now, that's just with the 140. I've already got 160 mixed up. So I can cover over 3 acres when I've got that side mixed up. And that's just the large side of my tank. I've got the small side over here too. So anyway, so now that I've got that, I can cover 1.6 acres. And what was the formula for Resolute? 0.85 pounds per acre. So I'm just going to multiply that by 0.85. All right, and you see the answer down there? 1.36. So I need to put 1.36 on this measuring cup, put it in there, and put 140 gallons in there, okay? Now I might write that down on a piece of paper, 1.36. But what about the atrazine? The atrazine was 20 ounces per acre. So I'm going to take that and multiply by 20. What'd I get? 32. 32 ounces of atrazine over there. And then the triplet's going to be times 2.5 pints. So I'm going to put 4.01, you know, basically 4 pints in there for 140 gallons. And then the surfactant, like I said, is 2 pints per 100 gallons what I'm putting in there. So at 140 gallons, you know, it's going to be a little bit less than 3 pints. So that's what I'm going to jot that down on a notebook. I'm going to start filling the tank up, and I'm going to mix that amount of chemical in there, and then based on my walking speed, how mine's calibrated, that's how much I need to apply. All right, so what did we learn? I gave you some rates, I gave you some programs, I gave you some alternatives for different grasses. I showed you how to mix it. I showed you some weeds that this application is not going to kill, and you may need to keep a backpack sprayer or a little 2-gallon handheld sprayer. I'll put links in the description of the 2-gallon sprayer I'm using. I put a link to a backpack sprayer I'm using, things like that if you want to get that and get ready for the season. So I keep those on my truck. You know, one right now I've got blindside in one, I've got revolver in one, I've got glyphosate in one. Glyphosate I might go after some Dallas grass and a dormant Bermuda lawn. The blindside I might use it for you know, the onions and garlic and things like that. Revolvers for the POA. You may have other products you keep on your truck. But that's what I'm doing, and it's quite effective. Now, if your yards are pretty clean, then yeah, you might can even omit some things. But on our Bermuda and Zoysia lawns, like I said, I want to get that prodiamine out before the crabgrass germinates, and then I've got the other products in there to try to knock out any cool season weeds that are in the lawn. I tell you what, I'm gonna pop the calibration video up on your screen right now in case you want to go watch it. And there'll be some other video suggestions come up at the end of this video. And if you want the resources, go to lawncarelife.com. If you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel. There is over 800 lawn care videos on the channel. Hope you guys are doing well. I'll talk to you later. Bye.